both Michael Jackson and Freddie Gibbs had something in common. They were both unique and different. And so that's why I keep telling people, like, here, they're all like, they keep doing what they see as popular, and then they emulate that. They're like, oh yeah, let me get on this. Oh, let me get on this train. And I'm like, no, just be you. And see, the problem is that a lot of people, they don't know how to just be them in the face of everyone telling them they should be something else. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Music Making Sense podcast. It's your boy Harkos here. With me, as always, is the one, the only KP. How the hell you doing today, KP?
I'm good, man. How's it going, boss?
Doing good, man. So, yeah, we had to shut the hell up on our pre-show talking in order to hit record, because we were just kind of briefly discussing what we were going to talk about, and we just started just going into it. So we're just going to hop into it. But for those of y'all who haven't been following along, make sure y'all go check out the other previous episodes we put out. Wherever you're listening or watching this at, you'll be able to find the other ones as well too, and catch up, but after you listen to this one, of course. But today we're going to talk about some stuff. I texted KP whenever I was on my way to go get some food and stuff like that after my late night and late wake up morning as well too that I had last night, y'all. It's not the first time, but for those of y'all, I was up to like 3 o'clock in the morning with some goth chick last night, and but me and her have been messing around on and off for like a year now, so it's not like it was my first time, but first time KP ever heard about it, so that is what it is. But yeah, I get up at like 7:30 in the morning, so to stay up till 3, I did not want to get up, and so I was like, I woke up finally. I got out of bed like 9:30. And then went on my morning walk with my dogs. We did like 3 miles in the woods and on the trail and stuff like that. It was super dope. I actually found some mushrooms yesterday whenever I was walking along the trail. And nice. A couple of them were like interesting looking. I don't know a lot about mushrooms, but I was like kind of curious. So today when we went, I brought my phone with me because normally I don't bring my phone. It's kind of detached. And I brought my phone with me and like took some pictures, and I was like doing the Google Lens on it and stuff like that. I'm going to do some more research into it a little bit later, because there are some pretty cool ones. I might end up just like throwing the pictures up like right in here or whatever and post at it. But yeah, and then, I texted KP when, told him, hey, it's going to be a little bit of a late start today. But then I was on my way to go get food and stuff like that, and asked him what we wanted to talk about, and he said that he wanted to talk about the what exactly the fuck did you say?
Creative and cultural shifts in hip hop and rock today. But before we get started on that, man, before we get started, actually, guys, go check us out. If you don't, also you guys make sure you like, subscribe to our channels on YouTube. We're all over social media. We're also on Locals and what's the other
social True Social. True Social. I'm trying to stay on top of that. There's no scheduling option for scheduling posts on there, so you have to manually post it when you want to post it. It's kind of a pain in the ass, so I can't like post like one a day like I do on all the other posts, like we do on all the other socials and everything. But yeah, you go to musicmakingsensepod.com. It links in the description below wherever you're listening or watching right now, and you can find all the social platforms. Make sure you go follow us and everything. Our Facebook page is at the time of recording this, beginning of August 14th. It's at like 125 likes and follows and stuff like that so far. So and we only have 4 episodes out at this moment when I'm saying this. Obviously, we're like at episode 7 by the time you're listening to this, but still, because we have a couple of buffer episodes just in case, our schedules fuck up and stuff like that. But make sure you go like, share, follow, subscribe to us. We try to post at least 1 post a day, sometimes 2. Every single day. They're all clips of the show, or they're other things that we find interesting on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere you find TikTok, YouTube Shorts, everything like that. Yep. So
and I also want to give a big I want to give a rest in peace to a guy I think was a very huge contributor to hip hop. I want to give my rest in peace and condolences to the family of Magoo. If you guys don't remember Timberland and Magoo, you guys remember how Magoo was Magoo was, I think, was so quintessential, so essential in the sound of bringing that Virginia sound and just helping us, look at hip hop in a different fashion, which I think, and it's weird that I'm saying that because I think that with our topic today, Timbaland, Missy Elliott, and Magoo are huge contributors to the shift that we're going to be talking about today within hip hop and also in rock today, in rock music. So I want to just say, get big rest in peace to him. And I just remember him because I remember when he came out with that "Love to Love You," that song, and Up Jump the Boogie, and just his voice, that I know that you could get to know me. And it's the way he flowed, man. I just loved his voice because it was like, oh my God, this dude sounds weird as hell, but that just the way he kicked it, it was just cool because he kind of had he had that Virginia twang with a little bit of like Q-Tip. Because you hear that, like when Q-Tip rap, right? Q-Tip has that really, like, his voice is like really, right. I love their voices, man. I do. And to hear the way, and the fact that he could flow, he had lyrics, he could bust, man. So I definitely want to say rest in peace to him, man, because he opened the door to something. Him and Timbaland, they definitely opened the door to something different in hip hop. Yeah. And so my condolences to their family, to his family, to everybody that knew him and that loved him. Rest in peace, Magoo. We're thinking absolutely of you, much love.
Absolutely. Yeah. And when KP, he actually messaged me that whenever I was driving, he said, man, Magoo died of a suspected heart attack. I thought at first he was referencing like Joe Biden, calling him Mr. Magoo, but he was like, no, the actual Magoo. I was like, oh, okay. Because I started looking through my newsfeed. I'm like, I figured I would have got an alert if the president fucking died. But
that would have been something. Yeah, dude, it would have been all you would have heard that one.
Yeah. Well, for the YouTube censors, I don't wish that he died. I'm just saying, I thought that's what he was saying.
That's what happened.
But unfortunately, I got to make that disclaimer because of fucking all the censorship.
Oh,
bullshit.
I know.
But
I'm not laughing at the fact. I'm not. Yeah. It's just funny that.
But he is like Mr. Magoo. Yeah,
he looks like Mr. Magoo. No, it's funny.
He can't see. Don't know where the fuck he's at. Just random shit. Just random shit. That's what it's like Magoo. I'm like, what, Mr. Magoo? And like, no, actual Magoo. I'm like, oh, fuck. All right. Because
tell our age,
right? Well, there's that too. But for those of y'all who don't know, like KP, he's a big rock and metal dude. I'm a big hip hop guy, but I love hip hop
too. But
right, yeah. But KP also does know and love hip hop as well too, but not as much as rock and metal. And then like I know rock and metal shit, and I grew up with that shit as well too. But I love hip hop, resonate with it a little bit more. So we both know about rock and metal and hip hop, in the opposite ways of each other, you know what I'm saying? Like, and
even in the sense of and even in the sense of relativities and similarities, because of, like we've talked about, the relativity of being, being a white kid in hip hop and a black kid in metal and rock, right? We spoke about that. But the one thing that I want to touch on, guys, is, and I know that it's been a thing that I try to avoid, within this conversation, or even within the podcast, I was trying to really avoid it. But I do feel that it's something that needs to be addressed. And the fact that we are both, we're both black and white men who are, one is into hip hop, got Park Susan, who's into hip hop, and me, who's into in metal, right? And the thing is that we don't talk, I think that we don't discuss enough, or every time it's brought up, not saying, not between us, like you and I we'll discuss it, but I think that every time it's brought up, the first thing that's said, and it's majority by, especially within the white community, it's always brought up about, why does everything have to be about race? Right. Well, it does. And I think the elephant in the room is we're looking at, and the question I ask is with our topic, which is the creative and cultural shifts within rock and hip hop today, right? And with that, we started talking about, and we watched a couple videos. Shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop, that we were watching the video about how hip hop is changing and the change of it. And we're gonna show some video. We're gonna show some clips of it, guys. So
yeah,
just get ready for that. And shout out to a video I made, and shout out to PunkBlack and DragonbabyT for sharing the love on this video that I created, where I asked, is rock dead? And then I brought up about how the shift is actually where you're starting to see a lot of artists of color in rock and metal today. You're starting to see them on the Spotify playlist as well. So as we were, and Hark and I were talking about this, and I had brought up about, when I brought up about the song that's just came out as well with Tom McDonald and Adam Calhoun. And it's about the American flag. I can't think of what the song is. I know it says America, but what I was asking is, are we starting to see within this cultural shift, within the both creative and cultural shift, are we starting to see where white hip hop artists, or why is it that white hip hop artists get this push that Black alternative rock and punk and metal artists don't get, even though you're seeing this shift? You're seeing how this is happening. You're also seeing it within hip hop, where Lil Yachty and you know, you're starting to see artists like Lil Yachty and those guys, and Tyler the Creator, right? You're seeing them making, and even Playboy Cardi and Trippie Redd, like you're seeing these Black artists making different music. Like they're starting to listen to more Pink Floyd and even Little Uzi Vert, right? You're listening to these artists, Black artists, who are getting this push. But at the same time, an artist like Adam Calhoun and Tom McDonald are able to get over 1 million views within a week, or even within a 24-hour viewing, within a 24-hour viewership.
Right.
Now, we're also seeing this happen within, and the thing is that it's not happening. You're seeing the shift, the cultural shift within rock and punk and metal, right? But you're not seeing the same, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, you're not seeing the same velocity and rate. You're not seeing the same rate. You're not seeing it come at a rapid rate. Right? So the question I ask is, why is that? So like, and before we get into asking, and before we get into that, or answering the question, which I'm going to let you go ahead and do that, Hark. But let's go ahead and look at some of the videos that we were like, let's look at one of the vids that we were looking at. And which is this one right here, where shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop. I'm going to subscribe to this young man, because I like his content. But I'm going to go ahead and start from the beginning, just to kind of get you guys going to why this topic is so important to me. And also, as you can see, I've got another video here that's talking about something weird is happening in hip hop. And there's a lot of reasons why I speak on it, because of just being at my age and the fact that I watched a lot of watched the shift in hip hop. And for me, it was in the 90s where I started seeing that shift with A Tribe Called Quest and those artists as well. But I also started seeing artists like a Justin Warfield and then The Roots, right? So I've always had a following towards that alternative sound of hip hop, right? And so watching this video was really interesting to me, because it brought me back into also brought me back into thinking about artists like ICP and Twisted, and you know what I'm saying? And again, their growth in the underground along with Tech Nine. But look at the difference with them. Same two artists with the same type of identity, but one's black, one's white. And one had to deal, Tech had to deal with the cultural differences versus ICP.
And when he even talked about a lot of that in some of his music, where he was like speaking to the black community, like, yo, what the fuck? Why are you not rocking with? Why I get more love from people from the other land and stuff like that? Like he would like, that's like a quote right there, you know, stuff like that. Yep.
And it's funny with, and as we go through this video, guys, we're gonna watch. I do want to watch this because I think this is a great video for us to especially for both of us. The cool thing, the thing is that. Just to piggyback on what you're saying, it was other artists who got influenced by Tech Nine and respected Tech Nine. It's the same thing that happened as you guys watching this video. It's the same thing that happened with Kanye's Yeezus. Fans were getting pissy with it, but artists gravitated to it. And you guys are gonna watch this in this video. And again, I'm going to show you guys another part. Like, I'm going to show you, shout out to Tasha Allen. I'm going to show you guys DragonbabyT and video that I did with myself speaking about this, briefly touching on this subject. But just to understand, like, just seeing this, it's like crazy as hell to me, because now we're starting to see this very shift. And again, Hart, I'm gonna let you have the floor after the video.
All good, man. All good.
But because you know, we already established what we were talking.
Right.
We already established that. So, I just want to show you guys this video, just to give you guys where I'm going with this, and I want y'all to understand why I'm bringing this up, and just having an artist who is a white hip hop artist, and understanding how this shift is going to affect us as artists and how it's going to affect us as a business, right? So that's why I really want to watch this and show you guys where we're going. And there are going to be other videos I'm going to show as well that's going to talk about rock and in a way where you're going to see it from a business perspective. So get ready, guys. I just want you guys to get ready for this and just kind of get you in the mindset of where we're going and how it's going to all relate into you as an artist, and how you can make a difference in making when it comes to shifts like this, when it comes to cultural shifts, dealing with race, dealing with identity, dealing with all these things. Because a lot of us, we don't want to try to ignore it. But it's very important that we talk about it, all right? And that's why I really want us to have this conversation. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play the video. And guys, sit back and let's watch this right quick. And then, Hark, I'm getting my man, my star. Right. You're going to have the floor, guy.
All right. So we're just only going to air a couple of the clips out of this other individual's content, just so we're not trying to poach on their content, plus all the regulations and stuff like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to watch some stuff like we have in previous episodes, and then we're just going to cut it down and we're going to go over it. The link will be in the description of this video, where you can find the full length video for whoever we're talking about on any day, whoever's video we play on any day. That way you can go like, share, follow, subscribe to them as well too, show love to them for putting out good content. But then you can also listen to the full thing in full and kind of get more of a glimpse on exactly why we're saying certain things, what we're talking about, and everything like that. But yeah, go ahead and pull up the thing, KP, and then we're gonna go ahead and talk about one of these videos.
There is a major storm brewing in the hip-hop world, and just as the genre turns 50 years old, it's about to go through its biggest revolution yet. Now, let's be clear, the only part of hip-hop that is dying right now is the creatively bankrupt and inorganically trendy tracks that many artists are just trying to get a quick bag off. As more listeners get fed up with hearing the same type of tracks over and over again, the market for this bland type of material is fizzling out, and as the trendy waves many have tried to ride out dry up, something much more important is soaking in. Many of hip-hop's greatest creative minds have spent the past few years doing something that no group of artists have ever collectively pulled off. From lyrical shifts to sonic experimentation, the one force binding together hip-hop's most prominent acts is the ability to subvert expectations and impact audiences in ways that were simply unimaginable. One of the biggest instances of this was when Kanye West released 808s and Heartbreaks in 2008, as many people turned their back on the album and Ye as a whole entirely, as the spacey melodies and glitchy production was so abstract at the time. While as the years went on and artists like Kid Cudi and later on Travis Scott and Lil Uzi Vert became popular, the sound and vision of 808s became more accepted by the people. This record was one of the few boundary-pushing efforts to ever receive the flowers it truly deserved. When we look at the creative renaissance in hip-hop right now, it's easy to see that Kanye West is the godfather of this movement, but not because of his work on 808s and Heartbreak. While 808s did go against the grain and trailblaze an entire new era, the album that truly redefined how a major level artist can go about creating music was Kanye's 2013 album Yeezus, which, if you thought the reception to 808s was bad, it was nothing compared to the hate Yeezus got. In the process of revolutionizing their artistry, Playboi Carti and Tyler the Creator have also created not just massive fan bases, but entire cultures around them that celebrate the one-of-a-kind musicality and showmanship that they bring to the table. While most labels and industry executives are still forcing artists to use the same set of trap beats and TikTok trends to blow up, in an era where artists like Lil Baby and DaBaby are canceling shows because of low ticket sales, it speaks volumes that people are flooding some of the biggest arenas in the world to hear the one-of-a-kind experiences that artists like Kendrick, Carti, and Tyler put together live. With Travis Scott releasing an experimental album and having it perform with the record-breaking numbers it did cements hip-hop's creative revolution as something underway right now at this current moment. By now interconnecting the A-list of rap with subgenres like cloud rap and abstract hip-hop, the exciting material that rap has to offer to the masses is greater than ever, and this will allow for the creative revolution to thrive. So when we look at the current state of hip-hop and see so many rappers on the A-list pushing the genre forward and challenging the conventions of what's accepted, and beyond this receive more acclaim and praise from fans than ever as a result, it is clear that hip-hop is about to change forever and we are entering a creative renaissance.
So that is a good video.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good video because he is highlighting something that's real. Can you please get her off she's distracting. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Sorry.
Shout out to DragonbabyT.
Yeah, DragonbabyT. Yo, you got it going on, girl. But anyway, so what?
We love you, boo.
Right. Yo, come on over. But what I was saying about that video, yeah, so about that video with creativity, like I was telling KP, I briefly was talking about it before we decided to hit record, was that the overall message that I'm getting off of that is the same thing that I've been seeing for a while and I've been trying to talk to artists about in the hip hop space, is being unique. You know, right. Be you, be whatever it is that's you, be you, because that's going to resonate with people way more than being the fake. Like I said on, I think it was like episode 5, where I was talking about how, you know, Ja Rule never really made it to where he wanted to be because he was mixing love songs with murder and shit, like, right?
Yeah.
Like you know, like having that.
It was too opposite, because if you think, yeah. I agree with you, it's too opposite, because if you think about a rapper who did do 2 different styles, like you had Busta Rhymes, because he was able to go party, but then he was also like, he would drop knowledge. You know,
but party and knowledge tracks have been something in hip hop. People would always have, like, on their album, they would always have, like, this whole wall right here. They would always have a couple of, like, pop or party type of tracks.
Right,
and
but no, what I'm saying
like,
is
the rest
that
of it would be like knowledge and bars and fucking.
And what I'm saying, and what I'm saying is that he was able to do and that's a formula that can breed success. Ja Rule, like you're saying, though, Ja Rule was two different dynamics. But go ahead,
but Ja Rule was successful, but he wasn't as successful as he could have been. But that's the problem, though, is that I think what held Ja Rule back is similar to the same thing that's helping Tyler the Creator and Playboi Carti succeed. And that is that the medium of consuming the entertainment today, which is the internet and streaming services, and the ability that you have as an individual to find exactly what you enjoy and live within that realm is totally different than it was anytime before the internet. Because before the internet, you only got what was fed to you basically on the industry, unless you went to like local live shows or whatever and saw something new or unique or whatever.
Or you only walked in the record store and you actually scrolled through you went through and searched for stuff.
But even that required a certain level of capital needed in order to get into record stores. And then sometimes you'd only be able to get in the record stores that you could actually drive to. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, you want to talk about ICP. When ICP first launched their first album, the Riddle Box, they would actually go into the local record stores in Detroit and buy their own copies so that the record store would actually place more orders. Yeah. And so like they had to actually do that in order to get their shit up. And they were unique as fuck in their time as well too. Over time, me personally, like so when ICP first started blowing up, my dad heard about them. He got really, really into them. He passed it on to me. I got into them there for a little bit, and then after a while it started being really, really, really repetitive to me. And I kind of fell off, and then I started getting into Pac and everything like that. And then it kind of like went a different direction. But you know, like ICP, they represented an underserved section of hip hop at that time, because hip hop, you would only get fed what the industry wanted you to have. Like,
shout out to Esham for that.
Right. Esham was really, really big on that. Yeah. But you would only get what the industry told you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I remember when I went in the Army in 2005, like the internet was still in its infancy. So whenever I went in, people would actually like, you know, people from Texas. Like I remember when I was in the Army, this one dude was walking down the hallway pissed off. He was like, "Hey, who stole my motherfucking Paul Wall mixtape?" And I was like, "What the fuck is a Paul Wall?" Right? Because I'm from Indiana. I never heard of Paul Wall. I've only heard of Midwest style shit, right?
Yeah.
And then like, you know, I started listening to like Texas hip hop whenever I was in the Army, because like at the actual the PX, the post exchange on bases and stuff like that, in the CD section, they would have stuff from like all over the country, because people in the military are from all over the fucking country. And that there's that, plus you were hanging out with other people. You know, I'm from Indiana. I was hanging out with a dude from Georgia, a dude from Virginia, and a dude from California that we were all hanging out and stuff like that. And that's when I first heard about E40. That's when I started first hearing, like, you know, a couple of my guys were from New York. They turned me on to Dipset. You know what I'm saying? Like I started hearing all this different kind of stuff, because the only thing I ever heard was what was on the local radio station where I was at, or on like MTV, BET and stuff like that. That was it back then. But now you are able to do so much more. And the reason I said that, I think the same thing that held Ja Rule back, as successful as he was, I think the same thing that held him back, that's helping Cardi B and all of them succeed, is that Ja Rule could not be 100% who he wanted to be and who he was. He had to be who he was to an extent within a box. You know what I'm saying? You know, he couldn't be 100% who he was. And 50 Cent in his book, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, he said that he should have just done that. But at the same time, he wouldn't have been able to get where he was, you know, because he was making good tracks. Like a lot of his tracks did really well, but there was always the confliction within the hip hop community, because it's like, dude, how can you on every track be like doing gangster love songs, but then, you know, trying to be, but then at the same time trying to be, you know, Murder Inc., murder and everything like that. Like it's very contradictory. And 50 Cent was talking about that in his book as well too, where he was saying that he thinks a lot of the problem was actually Irv Gotti, who was pushing the Murder Inc. and everything like
Supreme.
that. And that they were trying to go the gangster route, and Ja Rule was like, that's not really me, but okay, let me put on a bandana. And then everybody was like, oh, you want to be Pac, right? Like all that shit, you know what I'm saying? Because he couldn't be who he was. But now people like Playboy Cardi and Uzi Vert and everything like that, you know, people can be who they want to be now. And I think that is the revolution within hip hop, but it's not just the revolution within hip hop, it's the revolution within all music and all creative entertainment, is that the ability to put your hands on what you fuck with the hardest is so easy now. And you can get into that little micro nation, is a term I coined a while back, is like you can develop your own micro nation as an artist, and you can have all of your people within your nation and you can talk directly to them. You know, not just with like small little things like, you know, well, it's not small, but you know what I'm saying? Like little micro communities like Discord or Telegram and stuff like that. But you can do it on the main platforms now, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you know, X, whatever they want to call themselves, all that kind of shit, right? You can do it within that, because everything is so segmented that you can be who you want to be. And so like going to, you know, we're going to dive more into this, but going into you listening right here, right now, as an artist, I would say to you is that don't try to be something that you're not. Be you, but then learn how to promote yourself properly to where you can get there. Like if you're still trying to figure yourself out, cool, fine, because all of the artists mentioned in that video have had an evolution, and as humans you have an evolution. You know, you're not the same person you were when you're 6 years old that you are now whenever you're in your 20s or 30s or however old you are listening right now. You know, you're not the same person, you're not into the same shit. You know, you're gonna do what you want to do. And that's one thing that you know, me and KP have had personal experience with as well. It's the same as what probably some of y'all listening right now have had, where you on the surface are, you know, presented as one way, you know, your race and everything like that. And so like, you know, historically you have been told, hey, you need to fit in within this box, but then inside yourself you're like, I don't fit in within that box, you know. I mean, you know, like, you know, me and KP have probably been told, like, called similar things where, you know, we're like, oh, you know, well, you're a white dude trying to be black, oh, you're a black dude trying to be white, you know, shit like that and everything. But that shit doesn't really happen anymore. Like that's one of the things that trips me out the most, is that all the shit that KKP can probably relate, all the shit I went through growing up in middle school and high school, whenever I was wearing baggy clothes and listening to fucking, you know, Pac and Snoop Dogg and all that shit. And all the motherfucking preppy ass dudes, which was like 98% of the fucking school, they were all listening to either like rock, pop, or country, and they're all like, "Oh, well, you trying to be black?" And me and like 5 of my friends, the only other motherfuckers like me, were like, no, we're just us. This is what we like. And like the whole time, oh yeah, you just want to be, you know, oh yeah, that's, you know, that's Harcoast over there, he just wants to be black, you know, blah blah blah, shit like that. And but then like, you know, 28, 29 started changing shit a lot, to where all of a sudden like everyone's listening to hip hop, and I'm just like, fuck all of y'all, like right, because I'm like seeing all these people and all like the stereotypical looking people that used to talk shit to me, they're bumping the newest fucking hip hop track, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, go fuck yourself, right? But at the same time, I've cooled down since then. But like 2008, 2009, I was having some issues, because I'm sitting here, I'm just like having an identity crisis, because I'm like, this whole time I've been told that I'm trying to be something that I'm not, but in reality, I'm just me, and this is what I am. This is what I resonate with. Like I tell everybody, fuck, I didn't just go buy these CDs yesterday. I bought these CDs brand new when they came out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's who I've been, But yeah, I love rock and hip hop, Pantera, and all that kind of shit. I mean, fuck, a couple episodes ago, I was wearing a Metallica shirt. Like, I like rock and shit like that too. I was raised on that. Like, my dad was a Kiss Army fucking, member. Right. For most of my life, and then Kiss did their second farewell tour because they can never stop doing a farewell tour. But like they did their second farewell tour, right? And then right around the time they did Psycho Circus, that's when he first started listening to ICP a little bit, and then it kind of went from there. And now he's like big into that world, but even that world is like disintegrating into some other shit that is all unique and everything like that too, and he listens to some very unique shit now. Right. And like people like Tyler the Creator. I mean, one of my kids loves Tyler the Creator music, and I've only ever heard like 1 or 2 tracks from Tyler the Creator, right? And this was before like my son started listening to it and shit. So it's not like I rubbed off on him. With the internet the way it is, you can put your shit out there, and as many different ways as you can find to put it out creatively will determine on your success of people finding, resonating, and fucking with you as an artist. And you can do whatever it is that you want to do, and to go back to that video real quick, they were talking about, where Charlamagne the God was like, yo, man, I didn't like Jesus, straight to Kanye's face. And Kanye's like, okay, because because Kanye has always been that person was like, yeah, he's got his ego. Yeah, he wants to be popular. But at the same time, once he got to a certain level of success, it seems like every time with Kanye, and a lot of people like him in mentality wise, is with Kanye is he'll put out a couple of things. Like it said 808s and Heartbreaks was very controversial. I think that was one of his best tracks. That and My Twisted Dark Fantasy, those were fucking dope ass fucking albums, right? Obviously,
amazing albums,
right? Obviously, College Dropout and Graduation were iconic, but whenever he dropped 808s and Heartbreaks, it switched everything. So he was riding Graduation and College Dropout and the hype from all that and the popularity he was having. And then he went 100% unique and experimental with 808s and Heartbreaks. And everybody was like, whoa, what the fuck? But then everybody started copying it, right? And then he had Watch the Throne, which was not bad. And I'm not a huge Jay-Z person myself, but Watch the Throne was all right. And he had Watch the Throne and My Twisted Dark Fantasy. And then, like it said in the video, he was super, super popular again. And then he dropped Jesus, which was totally experimental. Everybody's like, what the fuck? But he does that because that's just how things went back then, right? Like,
but if you think, okay, but let's see, this is where I'm like, when I'm listening to you, and I'm like, but when I think about it, I mean, I'm going back into the 80s and
right,
like in early 90s, right? We don't talk enough about when it came to experimental hip hop, right? Or the experimental era, right? Let's talk about A Tribe Called Quest. Let's talk about the whole Native Tongue family, Queen Latifah, Black Sheep. Even let's talk about when let's talk about the Beastie Boys. Rest in peace, MCA. But Paul's Boutique and Ill Communication totally changed. Like, people don't think about how those albums really changed. Brother Lynch hung, right?
Yeah, but Brother Lynch inspired Tech 9 with the horrorcore shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? But he started horrorcore, you know what I'm saying? Like all that shit.
Right. But that whole thing, but if you think about it, like, as you were saying, like, we're getting up to this point where we're seeing now Playboy Cardi and Jesus, right? We can look at that. We can take that back into that during that time. Even if we look at rock and metal, we can look at the time when Rage Against the Machine and Ministry and 9 Inch Nails and those bands were coming out, and Jesus and Mary Chain and Jane's Addiction and Red Hot Chili Peppers and Fishbone and Living Color, right? We were seeing this whole shift and cultural shift back then.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, when I was growing up, it was straight up segregated. It was white people music and black people music.
Yeah.
Right? And I remember that growing up in Detroit, Michigan, because mind y'all, I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood. So I would hear that a lot. I remember watching, like, when you were talking about local music, like, it was, for us, it was Detroit's Most Wanted and Smiley and The Box. And I remember a show called The Scene, which was a dance show. And then it became The Dance Show, right? So I remember that whole shift as a black man, young black male growing up, but also being into rock and metal ever since I was like 6 years old. And seeing that shift, and now you're seeing it with Tom McDonald and Adam Calhoun. I want to really get your take on that, and then we're going to get into where we're seeing the shift of where hip hop, that shift in hip hop, where now you're starting to get more blatant racist coming into hip hop and being able to rap. And
see, I think that the dynamic, especially with Adam Calhoun, not so much with Tom McDonald, because Tom McDonald's always been different than Adam Calhoun, but like the popularity with Adam Calhoun and that song, with some other artists kind of like that are doing like that country hip hop shit, but they're also mixing it with like
Cowboy Troy, by the way.
right. But they're also mixing in hip hop, and that has like a strong element that's starting to be projected of like ultimate patriotism as well too. And I think that is what drives their success, is the divisiveness of them putting the stuff out. You know, when they put out a track called Don't Stomp on My Flag, that obviously plays into different different political division and divisiveness that we already have in the country and stuff like that. So I mean, I get what you're saying with that, but like to close out the last thing, I think that music has always been a creative endeavor, and the creative people, the ultra creative people, are always the ones who rise to the occasion and rise to the top. And then that's when the industry comes and plucks them, uses them, clones it, because it's a new thing. The industry's always finding the new things, cloning it and trying to monetize off of it, because that's just the machine that it is. It is what it is.
Right.
As a business, any kind of business you have, you always want to be as relevant as possible so that you can monetize and make as much profit as possible and be successful. That's what you want to do. And so that's what the music industry does in every genre. You know, like Pantera used to be a fucking glam rock band, with fucking, instead of Dimebag Darrell, it was Diamond Darrell. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. And then, they heard on tour, they heard a different sound, and then they fucking took that sound and went with it. And that became Pantera. And then they set the scene running, with Pantera. And then
they changed their whole look and shit.
They changed their whole look, and Dimebag Darrell became Dimebag instead of Diamond Darrell. Instead of having diamond studded shit, he dyed his fucking beard red and shit. Like all that kind of stuff. And no disrespect to Pantera. Like I like a lot of Pantera's music, but they set the scene for a lot of things, just like how Nirvana set the whole grunge scene on fire and everything, where you're living at right now in Seattle. Like it came from the small areas and then popped off. It's just, I think what it is nowadays is that it's popping off and coming out of seemingly nowhere faster and easier, and without the control of the music industry machine actually plucking it and putting it into the stream, right? People can scour the internet and find whatever they find interesting and resonate with it, fuck with it, and dive deep into it without anybody, putting it in front of them. I'm trying to think of the word. It starts with the C's, where you gather things up. And I didn't hear what you said.
I said, like, shove it down their throat.
No, not the shoving down his throat thing. Anyway. No, it's not correlating or whatever. I don't know. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, without somebody selectively finding things and putting it, saying, okay, we're the entertainment industry here, being entertained by this. Now it's individuals who say, hey, I'm creative. Boom, here, what do you think about this? Boom, here, what do you think about this? Like I said on one of the earlier episodes, where I'm saying, you know, marketing your music is basically like taking your genitals out and putting them on a table and in front of a lot of people and be like, hey, what do you think about this? I made this myself, right? That was a crude but funny example about what creativity and what your creative outlet and expression and product is of your music. Oh shit, what that is, it on the stage nowadays, you know, and that's where the internet and all the social media and everything like that is very, very good. And like that video also said too, the TikTok trends and, you know, trying to stay up on the hottest trend and trying to sound the same as everybody and shit like that, that doesn't work. You know, like I told somebody one time, so here in Indiana, where I'm from, people always say a lot of things like, oh, nobody ever comes out of Indiana. Well, I'm going to put Indiana on the map and blah, 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 and everything. They're like, the only people they've ever came out of it
all the time is from that damn place.
Right. But they're like, you know, like in hip hop mainly, like they're like, oh, nobody ever came out. The only people that ever came out and made it big were Michael Jackson and Freddie Gibbs. And they're both from Gary, which is damn near Chicago, right? Because it's like right outside Chicago. Right. And I'm sitting here, I'm just like, yeah, but both Michael Jackson and Freddie Gibbs had something in common. They were both unique and different. Like you listen to Freddie Gibbs, he does not sound like anyone else, right? But anyone else before him. Let me say it like that, because there's a lot of people that have started emulating his style and shit like that. And he even said that in the interview one time, because I dove into Freddie a little bit. I like a few of his tracks and shit, but I dove into a few of his like interviews and shit. And he like, because I saw him on Joe Rogan a couple times and shit like that too. But he was like, look, I came up with my own style so I could stand out. And so that's why I keep telling people, like here, they're all like, they keep doing what they see as popular, and then they emulate that. They're like, oh yeah, let me get on this. Oh, let me get on this train. And I'm like, no, just be you. But see, the problem is that
a lot of bands out here do that.
Right. But see, yeah, exactly. And see, the problem is that a lot of people, they don't know how to just be them in the face of everyone telling them they should be something else. You know what I'm saying? Like me and you, I grew up in a mainly white fucking town. You grew up in a mainly black area, right? But we were into shit that was not mainstream. Like I was not, you know, like, yeah, I was into rock and stuff like that, but like I wasn't into country music and all that shit. I still am. It's not, you know.
My grandparents were, and that was the crazy part. My grandparents was totally into country music.
Yeah, there's that too. But that era, grandparents were really big. Country music was really big at that time.
Oh yeah.
But like, you know, to kind of go into what you were wanting to talk about with the whole how Adam Calhoun and them were getting a lot of exposure, but like a lot of these newer like punk and rock and metal bands with mixed race groups, you know, or black frontmen or what have you, are not getting a lot of things. You know, I think it's a very complex issue. So like, yes, obviously there is the elephant that, you know, white skin culture, no matter what it is, white skins get pushed a little bit more than black skins unless they're the token fucking lackey, right? Type of shit, right? Yes, it happens. It sucks. It's fucked up. It is what it is, right? Yeah. But I mean, you can only do so much about it. You can march in the streets all you want. You can protest all you want. And do whatever you want to your heart's content to be able to try to fight against that. But there's a certain element, it's like, that's kind of what it is, right? Unfortunate. But so I think that is an element, right? I'm not going to dismiss that. But what I also think the element is as well, too, this is multifaceted. Another point of it is that over the last decade or more, 10 to 15 years, hip hop has and rap in general has gained such a huge market share in the entertainment industry that it is doing more mainstream numbers than what rock, punk, metal, and like any of the other like that kind of genre, non-hip hop, is able to do, just because it's so it's pushed more by the entertainment industry, and it's also just so prevalent. Like I just said, like when I grew up, me and 5 of my friends were the only ones that listened to hip hop in my whole school of, you know, middle school, high school, everything like that. My whole school, hardly any of us fucking listened to that shit, right? And now it's like most white people listen to fucking hip hop music, right? And it's just so prevalent, you know, like every race, you know, I'm not just gonna keep it black and white, but
definitely.
like, it is so prevalent in our culture, hip hop music, rap music, and you know, if you want to get into it, we can. There is a distinction between rap music and hip hop music. All right, rap music is more like the poppy trending type of shit, and the hip hop music is more the shit that I resonate with, where it's like conscious music, you know, fucking raw lyrics, talking about real shit, you know, not just being like, oh, I'm popping bottles, throwing fucking hundreds and fucking hookers, right? And that's all fucking dope, but most of the time, most of those dudes ain't even doing it. They're just talking about it because it runs numbers. But so I think that has a big aspect to do with it as well. On top of the topic divide that, you know, with the extreme patriotism and the fuck America type of divide type of thing in America, you know, because you know what Adam Calhoun has always kind of, well, not initially when he first came out, but he kind of rode that train in like 2014-15. He started getting into like the pre-Trump movement, where it was like a conservative movement push politically and stuff like that. Conservatives started getting like in the mainstream with social media and stuff like that. That's when Ben Shapiro and Steven Crowder and a lot of other conservative people started really getting on the rise, and he was riding in on that, and he brought in like the hip hop. I remember some of his earliest music, he was like the white guy surrounded by black dudes, and then he was talking about like some patriotic type of shit or whatever, right? Stuff like that. He's always kind of been on that realm with Ryan Upchurch and shit like that, right? Those guys have been in that kind of realm, and that realm is very divisive. So then when they bring somebody like Tom McDonald, who a lot of people like, who are not hyper patriotic, right? And then Tom McDonald gets on with an Adam Calhoun, and everybody, a lot of people can't even tell you a name of one Adam Calhoun song, but they see Adam Calhoun, oh, he's a racist or whatever they fucking think, right? Oh, he's one of those MAGA guys, right? Something like that, right? They have a preconception, and they see Tom McDonald, and so
that's what he does. But that's what they portray, though.
Yes, that is what they portray.
They give us that.
Yeah, he does ride it. He rides that wave. I'm not saying he doesn't, but people who've never even listened to him, they only think of his brand that he's built, right? They think of his brand that he's built, and then they see Tom McDonald's brand, and they put them together, and then it's a fucking firestorm, because it's like, oh, Tom McDonald's on that MAGA shit now too. Oh, is he want Trump? You know, and it starts a lot of that shit going, and so then I think that's what drives the views. So I think it's a mix of the controversy sells.
Definitely.
And hip hop is on a rise, but places like punk rock and my future wife that you showed me, right? What's her name again? I always forget her name. DragonbabyT. Yeah, my future wife, DragonbabyT. Right? People like, you know, places like that, spaces like that are showcasing, for lack of better words, it's black people in rock and metal and punk and stuff like that making great fucking music, right? And we're gonna show you the clip here in a second from my future wife's great video that she did, right? Right, because she's got the thickness and she can get the quickness, you know what I'm saying? And but she for real, she's a beautiful chick, but she's also talking about some real shit. She highlights some dope shit, and that whole movement that you're involved in, with PunkBlack and everything like that, with the not atypical looking, sounding, feeling rock, punk, metal movement that's coming up. I think that's what a good summarization to call that movement, right? For those of you who don't know what it is, it's pretty cool. I've only touched the surface based off of KP and everything like that, but it's very, very interesting I get what you're saying about you're sitting here, a black man who is a minority of a minority, where you're like, man, I love rock, metal, punk, and everything like that. It's severely underserved in the black community. You know, like black people are
and
like
the fact that it's
right,
and the fact that it's created, rock and roll was created by black people.
There's that as well too. There's always been that situation, right? But you know, you're sitting here and you're like, oh man, why are these people not getting the thing? But you know, this motherfucker Adam and Tom McDonald, blah, 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 which I don't like Tom McDonald myself.
Right.
But you know, they're getting all this steam and everything. It's like, well, so it's back to what I think it is that hip hop is a majority in entertainment. So there's that. And then controversy sells. So there's that. Right. I see what you're saying with is like, oh, you don't want to highlight these black experimental people doing something that's not hip hop because, you know, mainstream is saying black people make hip hop. That's it. They don't do other shit. I get what you're saying with that. That is fucked up. That might be an aspect. But I think the other two, you know, if we weigh everything, the other two weigh a little bit more, in my opinion. I'd just like to see what you think about that hip hop being a mainstream music genre and controversy selling weighs a little heavier than keep the black man down type of shit. Like, I'm not saying it's not there.
No, you're right. You're right. Because when you think about it, because if you look at it from that perspective, and I think about, and we're gonna look at a couple of bands, but we're looking at one of the bands, one of the artists, Cinnamon Babe. Okay. And actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and share the screen because I want to show you guys.
You gonna play my wifey's video?
Yeah, we're gonna show your wifey's video.
Yeah.
That's so funny. DragonbabyT, if you watch this, this gonna be funny as hell. You gotta make sure you put that on there too, man, because it's just super funny.
DragonbabyT, hit me up at Harkos, HARKOS. What's up?
So anyway, this is my video, guys. I'm listening. This motherfucker got me rolling over here, dude.
Don't hate.
So this is my video right here.
Come on, I'm trying to merge white hip hop with black rock.
Nah, it's not. Want to talk about it? Let's go ahead and talk about it. As we all know, everybody's been said that you've been hearing the word that rock is dead and there's no real rock stars. I'm sorry, shout out to my man Finn McKenty and a couple other cats out there, but I gotta say this. It's not that rock's dead. What's starting to happen is there's a growth of artists of color who are starting to become in rock and metal. And if you go to check out DragonbabyT and PunkBlack, and y'all will see some of the hottest new rock bands coming up right now. Rock, metal, punk, alternative, they all in there. Yo, check out DragonbabyT's Weekly 5, because that's what she does. So, yo, if you guys want to check it out, check out PunkBlack and DragonbabyT, y'all, because that's where you're going to see a lot of the newer acts out there that's in hard rock, punk, metal, alternative. You know what I'm saying? Yo! Is rock dead?
I like my delivery on that, by the way.
Like to hear it go.
Here it go. That was really good.
That's one of the things when I first heard that. Whenever he was like, "Let me tell you about it right now," I was like, "Oh, that shit's Calhoun Tubbs." Like, here it go.
Shout out to In Living Color, man.
Yeah, that's the shit.
Dude, that was another culture. That was another culture. Another culture changer, bro. That was
dude. And it goes back to the creativity thing. Creativity sells more than popularity and riding waves does. Because In Living Color did some crazy out of the box experimental shit. Jim Carrey would be a nobody Canadian still if it wasn't for that fucking show.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? With him and doing Fire Marshal Bill and stuff like that, dude. That dude was able to showcase him being who he is, which is a unique, crazy motherfucker, and able to get up there. And Jamie Foxx came out of that shit. Yeah. And Jamie Foxx is one of the most creative people around. Supposedly he just got cloned or something now. But yeah, but like he, you know, like everything that he's ever touched, he does comedy and fucking singing, acting, like voice impressions. Like that motherfucker can do a better Dave Chappelle than Dave Chappelle. Like,
yeah,
like multi-talented people, you know, and David Allen Greer and like all the Wayans, you know, with all the shit that they did, you know, with between Blank Man and, you know, Don't Be a Menace to South Central, Sipping Your Gin in the Hood, like all that shit.
Super your juice behind it.
Like that,
juice in the hood,
right? Know? Exactly. Like that was
Low Down Dirty Shame.
Right. That Menace to Society. No, not Menace to Society. It was
Don't Be a Menace while and
that's what it is. I already just said that. Yeah, I just said that. But anyway, they that was a congregation of extremely experimental, creative people that changed so much shit. Right?
Changed the entire game, dude.
And all of them just did what the fuck they felt in their soul. They didn't try to fit into anything.
Nope.
Right? Nothing. And they became successful.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, you know. And so don't be afraid to do that. Like I just got done editing fucking episode 5, and I put there's a lot of clips. That whole episode was about, you know, don't be afraid to do something different, because I talked about how, you know, Wiz Khalifa was on Bill Maher, and, you know, like that's like a total fucking weird mesh and stuff like that, you know. But like being yourself, being creative is so much better than being a fucking clone.
Yeah, so much better.
But anyway,
Wayne Brady is another great example of that.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
But here's shout out DragonbabyT, if you gonna be watching this up to.
Yeah, it's DragonbabyT. Look, I'm trying to create the perfect merger, right, between white hip hop people and black metal people. All right. And I think me and you would be able to create that merger, and the baby that would happen from that would just be amazing. Oh my God,
this thing, yeah, man. Let's just show this girl's video. You know, show this woman's video, y'all. This nigga, I swear, y'all, I'm not.
I'm DragonbabyT, and these are 5 bands you need to add to your playlist.
Don't stop, get up. Hold on to memories like a grudge. Don't stop, get up. Things never feel the same like before.
I'm DragonbabyT, and these are 5 bands you need to.
That's a different one. Play the other one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to that one. All right, which one was it?
I think it was towards the beginning. Oh damn, yeah. You don't go down. she starts looking even better down. It was
right here. Here we are.
I'm DragonbabyT, and these are 5 bands you need to add to your playlist.
And you might reflect, vision's getting clearer. Diamonds in your neck, I'm not your enemy. That's why I live with no
That scream, dude. Oh, hell yeah.
You need to add to.
Yeah, so that clip right there, not only is my wifey doing amazing right there, but like if you listen to the dynamic of those 5 ones, right?
Yeah.
Every single one of those is different. Like that second one, Bad Rabbits or whatever, they have like a super funk sound and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, but like I think at least 3 out of 5, if not more than that, of those that she highlighted right there had mixed race band with it. You know what I'm saying? Like a black front person or what have you. But it was still like dope music and it was very unique. Like especially that Bad Rabbits one. Like that one sticks out to me like something crazy because there's that. And then there's like yeah, and then there was like and then there was like the fourth one in there. I can't remember all the names. My memory's not that great, but like that fourth one in there,
it just
like,
doesn't matter. Yeah,
dude had like a Rage Against the Machine shirt on and stuff like that. But that had like a Blink-182 almost kind of style, like that. It wasn't quite Rage Against the Machine, but it wasn't quite Blink-182. It was like in the middle, like that whole era in like the late 90s, early 2000s, like rock and shit like that, which is whenever I was listening to a lot of it, you know? But it's very experimental. And I get what you're saying. It's like, why are these bands not blowing up? You know, why are they not getting the attention that like Adam Calhoun and shit like that did? And honestly, like, I get like we've went over this like 5 times. I get one of your main pushes on it. You know, it's like, oh, you know, they're not wanting to highlight, you know, dope black artists and shit. But what I think it might be as well too is that the marketing for it is not hitting the same level of mainstream viewership. And awareness. There we go. It's not, the marketing for them is not hitting the same level of mainstream awareness that a brand like Tom McDonald and Cut Calhoun was much better than Adam Calhoun.
Well, yeah.
but like Adam Calhoun and Tom McDonald have built for themselves. And so it's all about building your brand, right? Which is tough in the face of adversity. I mean, like it that's just how it is, but you can still grow from that. And all those groups, I mean, those groups are getting mentioned on, you know, my baby DragonbabyT's Instagram, but they're also getting mentioned on PunkBlack and stuff, which is a growing place. So like
very growing platform.
Right, very growing platform. So that micronation of that unique, diverse, experimental rock and punk and metal and everything like that has a place to live on the internet, which is amazing because it only ever used to live in KP's individual heart or DragonbabyT's individual heart, or all these other people, like the individual. Now there's a place and all y'all can come together from all over the fucking world. You can hang out with some black aborigine in Australia who loves fucking Bad Rabbits just as much as you do, or whoever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you can hang out with some fucking, some dude in China who loves the same thing, or whatever. Well, maybe not China because they're locked down, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
but still,
people from all.
But I mean, look at the band
making one place.
Well, look at the band. Was it Make the last one, the one with the hard, where the hard harsh ass screaming vocals. That shit, like, I love them. Like, as you saw me headbanging, right? So,
exactly.
But here's the thing what you're saying is also the fact that you looked at my video, and like I said, I got over 7,000 views on that video thanks to PunkBlack and them tagging it and putting my name on there and stuff, right? So I realized that also gave me the realization of also presentation, right? Me being a representative of rock and punk and metal and being black and being queer. There needs to be more, instead of always trying to be the musician or the rock star or in the band all the time. Like, where do we need more of us being in the representation, giving representation and management and in administration as well. So that's where I was like, when I looked at myself on that video, and also us being podcasters, I started realizing, like, okay, that's it. And you really nailed it. You totally nailed it. It's about us, like artists like myself, instead of always trying to shine the light of me being an artist, shine the light of these other artists and being a representative, being a voice for them. Right. So that's something I really started. Now that's something that, you know, and I'm looking at myself now and looking at what we're doing. And it's like, yeah, this is it right here. Like being able to share these platforms. And even like another thing that I'm going to do is start working on my content to where I can have these shows where I'm showing the bands, like how shout out to Fantastic HipHop. Like me doing that and me showing my face, because Corey, shout out to Corey of Brand Man. He said that it would be cool if I showed my face more in these types of videos where I'm teaching, but at the same time working on content where it's not just me posting, it's me actually working on these commentary videos and then speaking about them and giving brief discussions on them, showcasing the artists and really giving people a show.
Right. Well, that's going to be good because, you know, in a way, you're a subject matter expert on those things. And so the best person to speak about it is you. Like, yeah, you know, you can repost and reshare like other people's created content that you see high value in. But if you take their stuff and their information, you resonate with it on yourself and how you feel and your own ideas and everything like that, and then you create your own individual unique thing, and then you put that out there, then people are going to be able to resonate with you because you may have a little bit of a different point of view than what, you know, like for instance, me and experimental hip hop have different points of view on different things, right? Like he was saying things from a certain perspective, I say it from a different perspective, you know, and so like some people are going to resonate with that perspective and some people won't, you know, and so I agree, like, you know, being able to highlight and showcase these type of artists and stuff like that will uplift your profile as an individual and as an artist and as a lover of that stuff as well too, because that's one of the things that I keep trying to tell a lot of artists to do, and a lot of them give me all the excuses in the world, and then I tell them how my schedule is with all the shit I have to work on, and they're like, I don't know how you do it, and then they still give me all the excuses about how they can't do it, right? What I'm trying to say is I keep trying to tell all these artists, I'm like, look, you need to post more content than just your own music, because when I go to your fucking page, all I see is listen to my music, buy my stuff, support me. I'm going to hear, check me, check out my stuff, me music. Like, it's fucking annoying and people don't like it, right? But if you create unique content that is you know, and they're looking at it like, oh yeah, like I like this person for this point of view or this interest, we have the same interest. Oh, me and you are kind of like the same. Oh, you make music too? Yeah, your music's pretty cool too, you know, blah blah blah. It kind of goes from there, you know. So like with you know, you're talking about all this stuff with, you know, the PunkBlack music and movement and everything like that you're into, and you're sitting there talking about it from your own point of view, your own perspective and everything like that. You're bringing up people that PunkBlack may not even be bringing up and everything like that, right? You're talking about all these different things. People like you as a person, they see your profile, then they see you, they're like, oh, okay, let's see what else this guy has, right? Oh, he's also got this other podcast with this goofy ass white dude over here that's in love with fucking Dragon Lady, right? and then oh wait,
DragonbabyT,
right? And then he also makes his own music too. All his music's pretty dope, you know, and stuff like that. Like they see you as more than just one thing, right?
They're getting to know me before they get to they're getting to know me before they get to the music, and that is true. And artists, another thing too is like this, and if you picked up on what I had said, I had stated that, you know, you don't always have to just focus on being a musician or an artist. There are other things that need to be done. Like I said, like when it comes to this movement, when it comes to PunkBlack and those and representing these bands of color, right? The one thing that I realized too is that I'm at the point where I'm at the age where I'm not trying to get out there and really be on stage as much.
Right.
But my voice, right? Yeah, this could be my stage right here. Exactly. And also using my YouTube channel to create those, you know, the Tainted Novelty Music and Entertainment clips of me talking about the music, showing new bands, showing artists and things like that, being that representation, that voice.
Right.
You know, so that I think we definitely need more of that. And so that's something I realized like, hey, as you know, and I still gonna put out music because I like doing the music like for our podcast. Like, you know, you able to put that conga flow on there, or me being able to work with an artist, an experimental free jazz artist that I've been working with lately, being able to give him drum tracks, right? Being able to do different things, even like working on my BeatStars account, where I'm putting out different stuff on there, different experimental sounds, and even utilizing my voice with my vocals. And shout out to my boys Ask Me If I Care. There's another band here. This is another band from Florida that I'm promoting as well, that I love and I promote. You know what I'm saying? And they're a Black-led band as well. So being able to do those things within this space, those are niches that a lot of us don't think about, even getting into the production side, right?
And you being able to create your own thing to fit in with all of that, where you're promoting, you know, Black-led rock and metal and stuff like that, things that really, really speak to you. You know, that's going to be so much more fulfilling to you. It's going to resonate more with people, you know, because, you know, one thing I see a lot of people fall victim to in the hip hop space, for instance, is like they will see success following a certain narrative. And people will only know them for their music. That's it. And then all these people, all these up and coming people will be like, oh, that person has success, let me do what they do. And it's like, no, because that's fading. Plus they're on a certain level, right? Because like once you get to a certain level, people don't really care about the intricacies of you. You know, people don't care about the intricacies of DJ Khaled and what he stands for. Most of the time, if he says anything political or whatever, people just say, DJ Khaled, shut the fuck up and make another mixtape, right? Or something like that, right?
Yeah, because he's not going to have that because he's not political. He's always thinking, it's beautiful, baby. It's beautiful.
Right.
Yeah, so you're right. Like
So but he built himself with that single-minded, narrow vision and stuff. And a lot of other people did as well, too, in that lane. But we're reaching a whole new day now where things are coming so much more, you know, like all the experimental artists we talked about, you know, Travis Scott, Playboy Cardi, you know, all the places, you know, Ask Me If I Care and all these other groups, right? They are growing based on their uniqueness, you know, Tyler, the Creator, based on uniqueness. Like when people listen to his music, they also look at the other things that he fucks with. You know, when people look at their music, they also look at the other things, you know, like A$AP Rocky and the whole A$AP crew. They changed the game with video work. Like their video style on their videos. If any of y'all have never seen an A$AP video, watch any A$AP video, A$AP Ferg, A$AP Rocky, A$AP whatever, right? Their video style, it wasn't a thing until they made it, right? They made their own unique thing and rocked with it, you know? And so that's what you have to do as an artist as well, too, is just be you. And it's going to be an uphill battle like a motherfucker, right? I mean, it's going to be, but when you do start getting success, once you learn how to market it properly, or you get some people behind you, like me or KP, to help you market it properly, like to help you market it properly, it's going to help you get more successful, and then you're going to get more fulfillment from it. Dude, you're going to kill me with these ladies.
This is another artist I wanted to show you. Her name's Cinnamon Babe. I wanted to show you her too. Now just to give you a cool vibe about her, and just as we're touching on this, right?
Oh, that's a cool picture right there. The drawing one.
Yeah,
that's really, really cool.
Yeah, that's her. So she's looking like Storm. But her name's
not only is it sexy, but it's cool. Like it's like unique at the same time. It's cool.
But her name is Stormy, and she's an actor. She's an actress, actually. She's played in quite a few movies. But she has this song that was banned on TikTok. It was called Rock and Roll is Black. And she came out, it was banned on TikTok. Okay, because white incels and supremacists were saying that the song was offensive because she was telling the truth about it, right? She was totally telling the truth. She was spitting that real about it in the song. And where I'm gonna go.
Everything is offensive to somebody. Like, I don't know why we got to keep shutting everything down because something's offensive to this group or that group or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, white incels were pissed off about this one and shut down this lovely, lovely lady over here in her music, right? Okay, but at the same time, like, white shit gets shut down because black people get pissed off or whatever. Like it's like, look, you're never gonna like something that everyone likes. Like it's everything is gonna be offensive. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But here's the difference.
There's shit. There's shit equally.
Right. But here's the things
that Trump says and that Biden says, they offend me equally, right? It doesn't fucking matter because the reason they offend me equally is because my ideas are supreme in my head, right?
Right.
That's just how it is. And that's, people need to get that under their fucking skull. Like, people get off mentally on the idea of, I didn't like that person, I got them shut down, I won. It's like, no, you're a fucking loser, right? Because not only did you not win over them, but you're still a nobody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But here's the kicker. But here's the kicker, though. And this is what I was saying with this, is that when it comes down to it, like, again, her song got banned for what it said. But they actually, but Adam, actually, Tom McDonald did get one of his songs banned because of it. But here are the lyrics that here's the should I go to lyrics, or you want to check out lyrics or the video?
Either one. Lyrics fine.
All right.
Let's do lyrics.
Do lyrics because let's
just look at words.
All right. Okay. So here are the words to that song.
Taking my culture back. Rock and roll is black. I almost said hip hop is black. Rock and roll is black. All right, Hendrix flooding my bloodstream, rebel of this world. Hear my screams ready to push. Yeah. I can't say some of these words in here.
Okay, so it says, let me read. It says, Hendrix flooding in my bloodstream, rebel of this world, hear my screams, ready to push the minority dream, the people who have died to have seen me seen. They hate to have my words so political, want me in my place to be traditional. Your image of me is based on fictional. I'm this deep individual ready to speak. You want to dress, when I dress how I want, they call me a freak. When I talk how I want, they call me a geek. Y'all niggas don't like me because you're weak. I'm not a doll or your little toy. I'm a crazy ass beast that screams off the boys. Well, actually, that scares off the boys. She said I'm a crazy ass bitch that scares off the boys. Get off my page if you're not ready for the noise. Entity sent, designed to destroy. I'm here to corrupt, not here to enjoy. I'm taking my culture back. I'm taking my culture back because rock and roll is black.
Yeah, those are dope lyrics. But see, the thing
is that, lyrics.
But see, so that's interesting because I don't understand how white incels could get upset with that based off of those lyrics. They're clearly getting based off of the narrative around it, not the actual lyrics, because the actual lyrics, if anything, she's talking to fucking black people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, based off those lyrics, I can see some things about, I'm taking my culture back because rock and roll is black. Okay, yeah, she might be, hitting that white people because really, and because the whole whatever it is that white people took over rock and roll and made it like the big thing, and now it's weird to see black person in rock and roll, even though it started out with black people and everything like that. Like I could see, that's what I see more off of that. That's the only thing I could see that it's taking that would piss off any white people. But at the same time, it's like, who the fuck cares? Like, even if it was something totally different, you know what I'm saying? Like, this fucking shit is so fucking annoying.
All right, but here's the kicker.
To me,
Right, I know, I get what you're saying, but okay, but here's the kicker, bro. And I was watching. I
saw what you typed in.
Yeah, Adam Calhoun got a video.
Yeah,
and I think he was in Chicago when he said that. But he was in Chicago. Was it this one? Yeah, here. Yep, this was the one. This is where, and the thing is, like, what pissed me off about this was,
for those of y'all who are just listening only, we're reading the lyrics. For Adam Calhoun's song Racism, where he like blatantly uses the N-word with the A at the end, and he's talking about like different things in here, like the different, like he's bringing up like the old trope, like there's a difference between ER and A at the end, and one's friendly, and if you're accepted within the community, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, right? Which is something like that a lot of us white people developed in either black culture or hip hop culture or whatever have never wanted to do. We're like, no, that's for you, let's go, whatever. Like, even when I was younger, a different story, I was just like, I didn't feel comfortable with me, like when I was in the army, I hung out with a lot of black people, and they're like, oh man, you're cool, man, you get a pass, you can say whenever you're with us or whatever, because they were throwing it back around, because it's kind of like, it's just like part of the vocabulary. And I was like, no, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, I get uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. After a while, I started getting uncomfortable with that, man, because right. But here's the thing, as I'm reading the lyrics, and I get it,
it's very incendiary, it's very controversial, but if you actually look into the lyrics, he's saying he's tagging
on, yeah. And I'm looking at it like, okay, I see where he started off at the first. He started off with the cracker, and they got your rebel flag with your camel hats backwards, stains on your shirt with your fucked up teeth, piece of shit truck broken down in the middle of the street, old lady bitching in the passenger street or passenger seat. That's really what he wants to say, I guess. But yeah, at passenger seat, smoking like a chimney, and the kids in the back can't breathe. Got a kid on your lap, smack his ass if he speaks. Always wearing wife beaters because their ass getting beat. Okay, that's white trash.
Yeah, so
he's
like talking about white trash shit, like super trashy shit, right? Yeah.
Okay. But here's my thing.
But it did so much controversy because he threw around the N-word in there.
Well, no, I mean,
as a white dude.
Right. But here's my thing, okay? I guess what frustrates me is that he was able to do it, and and you know what's funny was that there were a lot of black people who agreed with him.
Yeah.
But when it came to this song, when it came to Rock and Roll is Black, I did not see the same. And I'm speaking about black people who come from the hood, black people where I come from. Like we were talking about, from like the Gary, Indianas, the Detroit, Michigans, the Chicagos, and those black people from the Montgomerys and the Birminghams and the Atlantis, right?
Right.
I didn't see this same energy for Cinnamon Bay. And I realized where it comes from. See, where it's coming from, and I'm noticing, and as I'm listening to you as well with this conversation.
Yeah, but I want to know what you're gonna say.
Right, and this is why you're gonna say
something. Cool.
Right. I am gonna say something. That's why I want to, and I'm saying this, and that's why I was allowing you to have this conversation, because so then we can have this a closure where this is what I want you is for artists. This is what I want y'all to think about. Okay, I want y'all to think about a couple things when it comes to creating music. Okay, number one, your skin color does not dictate what type of music you make and how good or bad it's gonna be, or indifferent. All right, that's one thing. And number two, I want you to understand this. You're gonna have controversy. All right, you are gonna have controversy. I've gone through it. I'm quite sure Hark's gone through it. And actually, he has gone through it because he explained how he's gone through it, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is this, to wrap this up, all right, guys, is this. Number one, or the main thing of all, I don't care what kind of music you do. The one thing I want you all to do, no matter what, and we can all take this lesson from punk ass Adam Calhoun, Tom McDonald, Bad Rabbits, Cinnamon Babe, DragonbabyT, Kark's white, want to be white.
I don't know anything about Cinnamon Babe too. Like, we need to figure out some kind of poly thing.
Okay, but as you guys can see, my point is this. And what I want to iterate is this, y'all. We are at a cultural and creative change, all right? And every one of us, no matter if you're Black, Asian, white, Hispanic, Latino, African, from Honduras, from Micronesia, from your Laos, your Vietnamese, your Russian, your Czechoslovakian, I don't care. You all now have the ability to change the world with your music and make a difference. Okay. And with the internet, we all now have that exposure. And we all have the power. And we all have the power. And it's taken me up to this moment to realize how much of that power I still have. Right. But now it's going to have to shift into where I'm sitting behind the scenes or sitting in front of this camera like we are now, and being able to talk about it and being able to represent and being able to showcase these artists and showcase this style, this lifestyle, this culture, right? Showcase what we're doing today. And that now that we have the power to do that, that's what I want to see more of us do.
Absolutely.
We have the chance now to combat. If we got something to say to Adam Calhoun and Tom McDonald like I do, I'm going to say it now.
Yep.
And now, and also being able to showcase DragonbabyT and play Rock and Roll is Black by Cinnamon Babe and all those other great tunes that we're hearing out there. Showcase my man Kenny Hoopla. Showcase Tosin Abasi, who I've met. Shout out to Animals' leaders. Being able to have this very platform right now. Being able to shout out to my girl Guitar Gabby. Shout out to Dika Roxolidian. Shout out to Martha, Flora from Martha. Shout out to all of you. Now being able to have this platform. And being able to share that with you and everybody else, and having a great partner like you as a co-host, and being able to share these things and saying, and no longer now we don't have to just say it is what it is. We have the power to now change it. And that's what I want you to, that's what I want y'all to take from this artist. Even if you want to get out of music and you want to go behind the scenes, guess what? you're needed behind those scenes now. Because look how many artists we have out here. All right. And there's also festivals. There's festivals. There's also Black and Loud Festival that's coming up. I'm going to be talking about that. And I'm going to be talking about that on my content. So you guys are going to get a chance to see that. Talking about a couple of other festivals that's coming out that's showcasing Black and brown and artists of color. So I'm going to be able to show you guys that. And this is where, again, and also being able to team up with Heart, being able to show you guys that you have a platform now. We have plenty of places, plenty of spaces and places to go to do so. All right. Let's take advantage of that.
Absolutely. And like he was saying, if you're the one using your voice, using your face, using your image to either speak or sing or whatever it is, create the art and the music, then go ahead and do that. But if you want to be in the background, well, guess what? All those people doing that, they need marketing people. They need video, editors and stuff like that. They need all the people to help out with the promotion and with social media management and everything like that. Yep. They need the help from you to share it with others that in your social circles online and with your social circles in person. Right. To be like, oh yeah, you like this, black metal band or whatever. Oh, I like that one too. Oh, you know what? I also heard about this. Oh, you're sharing it with people. Right. And you're getting in your micro nation because, the nation that you happen to physically reside in, it doesn't matter anymore when it comes to your interests. So whether to tie in what he was saying, plus with my point, I can't stand this whole, I don't like what somebody says, let me shut them down shit. But like what KP was just saying, if you don't like it, create something to counter it. Create something from you, by you, either to overcome what the other person is saying that you don't like, or to straight up combat it. One of the two, right? Because KP, for instance, hypothetically, he could loathe the Adam Calhoun, Tom McDonald song, and he could create a song that just combats right at it, right? Yeah. Or he could create a song that is wildly creative instead of combative, wildly creative that rises above. And exactly. and his personal fuel for creating that was his despising that, or just not liking it, one of the two, whatever level of whatever level of that black metal angst he's got, whatever level of that it is, he could use that as fuel to create something great. And then it comes out and he doesn't have to say shit about those guys. Nope. At all. In promotion, in the actual creative art, nothing. He doesn't have to even acknowledge them, because acknowledging them not only ties him to them, but then also puts the controversy. But he can create something great that comes out and shines. And Adam Calhoun and them can do their thing over there, and Bees Believe and all them fucking weirdos over there. They can do that thing over there. And then you can do whatever it is you want to do. That person can do whatever they want to do. I can do whatever I want to do. Speaking of which, today is August the 14th, and my EP has officially been re-released. Hip Hop Revolution, got my shirt on right here. My EP, Hip Hop Revolution, debut EP, has officially re-released. I've been like dripping it over this year. Earlier the year, I was doing a different strategy. I ended up just scrapping that strategy and starting to do something different. Nice. I was going with a different distributor, and the distributor was pissing me off, so I just scrapped them and fucking took everything off and then put everything back on myself. Right? But see, that's the beauty that we have nowadays too. Not only can you create your own space, but you can do what the fuck you want. Like, I had one distributor that I was going through. I was drip feeding. I was trying to do the waterfall method, right? Because it's supposed to be amazing. Right. But the waterfall method,
it's stressful.
The waterfall method doesn't do shit if you don't have a waterfall of content to help promote it. Exactly. Because you can do waterfall release strategy on Spotify, on all the DSPs, right? But if you're not doing what's necessary to promote it, those are not going to do any numbers. Right. No, and that wasn't what stressed me out. What stressed me out is that I was dealing with that DSP, and they were a bigger DSP, right? Or a bigger a bigger distributor, right? Right. They were a bigger distributor. And because I previously been, so my background is, I was on DistroKid, and then I got a distro deal with an Empire sublabel. And so I was being distributed through Empire. This was a few years back. And then after my like 2 years with them, because the sublabel I was going through for that was just not fulfilling any of their bargain, except for they were putting my shit out, right? Because they said they were also going to do other things. Like they would provide artwork, but the artwork sucked, everything like that. They were trying to create a label. They weren't doing that great, and they weren't doing any of the promotion they said they were going to do. Anyway, so then I left that shit and went back to DistroKid, got the label plan that we had talked about in previous episodes, stuff like that. Started, putting out my own stuff over there. Well, then now I know somebody who I know who got a thing with Sony Orchard. He's got his own distro with them, and he's like, hey, come on here or whatever, I'll give you 100% control. You can do whatever you want. You can just distribute it through here. I won't have any affiliation to it. I just want to hook you up and help you out or whatever, give you something a little bit better. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm working with that platform, and it was cool at first because every time I had like a question or issue, I'd submit a help ticket. They responded back within 24 hours. They would fully resolve my thing, not to send me some blanket shit. They would sit there and actually go have a back and forth with me until I resolved whatever issue it was. But then I kept running into the issue where, like, when I was trying to do waterfall strategy, like every single track that I was putting out, it had got a copyright infringement flag for the beat usage, right? And so I sent them in the paperwork where I gotten the copyright permission to use it. And so I sent them in for all of that. But then every time the next waterfall came out, all of the previous tracks that had already been out got the copyright infringement again. And yeah, exactly. It was just like because it was seen in their system. It was getting flagged again because it was seen as a new release. Yeah. And so it wasn't working right. And so I was talking to them about it. And so then I was like, okay, well, let me test something real quick. So I gave them intentionally the absolute wrong paperwork, because so what I did was there was one track on there that on the EP is called the EP Hip Hop Revolution. There's one track's called Soul, dope track, right? So the beat for Running Round, I got a lease for. But then my computer crashed or whatever. I couldn't find it. Well, whenever I submitted it to Sony Orchard, they hit it back to me and said copyright infringement. I sent them an email. I said, hey, I completely appreciate that. I know I got the paperwork in here somewhere. Can you tell me who the producer was for that beat? Because I can't remember. Right. And I didn't have it written down properly or whatever. Right. I can't remember. Can you tell me who the copyright holder is so that I could look in my computer for it, or worst case scenario, go and repurchase the lease? Right. I'm sitting here trying to do the 100% legit thing. I'll buy it again if I need to. Right. Whatever. Right. And they said, we don't have access to that information. And I was like, you're fucking Sony Orchard. It's getting a copyright infringement notice, but you can't tell me who is copyright infringement from? Yeah. Okay. Let me test you real quick. So I know it's not this producer right here. Absolutely not. Because it was a one-off thing I heard on YouTube one day and got it off of them. It wasn't from any of my because so I bought like 15 beats off of this one producer, and like 4 or 5 of them made it onto this EP Hip Hop Revolution. Well, a couple of them have one-off producers, right? And the one for Running Round, I knew it was a one-off. I'd never bought a beat from them ever before. It was just that one track. And so I took a random one that I haven't used yet, a random paperwork, and I sent it in from a totally different producer. I knew it was not even the right beat, not the right producer, not the right title, nothing like that. Sent it in, they fucking approved it. Right? And so I was like, all right, bye. Put in my fucking my release what's that called? My takedown request. Put in my takedown request for all my shit. And then as soon as it all, I waited a couple of weeks and then, put in the thing. And then now today on August 14th, you're going to hear this a couple of weeks after, but August 14th is when it officially re-released on all the DSPs and everything like that. And I'm going to start a new promo run and everything like that. What I'm going to be doing is something that I keep telling these artists I'm fucking with. I'm going to take my content that I did at the beginning of the year when I was first initially promoting Hip Hop Revolution, when it first came out. I'm taking that content and I'm going to repurpose that same content. I'm going to take the same video and put new text and everything like that and re-release it. Yeah, I just did it 6 months ago or 4 months ago or however many months ago, that same piece of content. But now I'm redoing the brand of it, redoing the tags, redoing everything like that, using the same content and re-releasing and re-pushing that old content that technically released on my personal website in 2022. That I didn't actually start putting on the DSPs until early 2023. It didn't start actually putting out music videos for and doing promo for until early 2023. Now I took the stuff off the DSPs, re-releasing it now and doing a whole nother run with the same kind of content, like some of the same exact content and some new content, mixing it in there and everything like that and re-putting it back out there. But see, the thing is that we live in an era where I can tell Sony Orchard, fuck you, I'm gonna go do it on my own over here with DistroKid, and I pay $20 a fucking year for, or no, sorry, it was like $60 a year,
80.
Right? 80, yeah.
Oh, you got the discount? Oh, you got
the discount,
sweet.
But yeah, and discount code for DistroKid is available in the link below, as well as on our website as well too. You can help support us and get a discount as well too. On our website, Music Making Sense Podcast, in the discount section, we got affiliate programs with a bunch of different companies. DistroKid is one of them. When you click that link and go through and submit, create your account for DistroKid, you'll get a deal. We'll get a little bit of kickback. It helps support us, everything like that as well too. Definitely. But we have the ability, after that little plug, we have the ability now to where, like I was with DistroKid and then I got with Empire, which is one of the biggest ones. And then they were fucking with me. I was like, all right, fuck you. Right. And it was a sub label. It wasn't Empire proper. I get it. Right. But then I went with fucking not sub label, right? It was actual proper, like, yes, I was connected with a sub label, but I was talking directly with Sony Orchard support, and they're all, and then once they were like, because I was dealing with the waterfall thing, and I'm like, okay, this is a little bit of a weird inconsistency, right? Where I kept getting this shit, the copyright stuff kept popping up, even though it already got approved before, and I kept submitting tickets, like, sorry about this, we'll fix it, everything like that. I'm like, okay, cool, because they fixed it. They did what they said, customer service was good. But then when they got a flag, they couldn't tell me who it was flagged for, so I could go and rectify the situation. And then I sent them absolute fraud information, which, okay, whatever, hit me for fraud if you want, fuck you. But I sent them absolute fraud information. They're like, you're approved, congratulations, it's scheduled for release. I was like, you're a piece of shit. There's no way you're doing anything above board, right? No way you're doing anything above board, right? And their whole selling point, right, that they tell the sub labels and stuff like that whenever, so like, for instance, if well, I still technically am affiliated with that sub label on Sony Orchard, right? So as that, I'm like, hey, come get a distro deal with me. I get your stuff distributed with Sony Orchard, and you don't, you got DistroKid, I get it, but the thing with DistroKid is you got to pay for all those extras. You get those included with Sony Orchard distribution. You don't have to pay for, the YouTube content ID extra. You don't have to pay extra for it like you do with DistroKid. Right. You get it included, and it's like, okay, yeah, I get it included, but how fucking good is it when I can literally give them the wrong paperwork and they approve it? Like, how am I supposed to believe that their content ID is going to be any better than DistroKid's, right? Yeah. How am I going to believe that they're going to get me the royalties properly when somebody could get a copyright infringement flag and submit some bullshit little PDF, and then they can get the royalties off of my song that's supposed to be correctly coming to me, but since they submitted some little PDF that said suck my dick and you approved it, now they are getting the royalties for using my music or something like that, right? How am I supposed to believe you're gonna be able to do that, right?
So fucking weird, dude.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, fuck that. I'm just gonna put it out, and I'm gonna go back to my original motto, my original thesis, and everything like that that I portrayed in episode 5, where I'm talking about the DSPs are owned by these major labels. And the reason that all of us as artists only get 0.003 cents on every stream on Spotify, or
squeezing a booger out of goddamn Abraham Lincoln's nose,
right,
man.
all that stuff, right? You're getting fractions of a penny per stream and stuff like that. The major labels aren't getting that cut. The major labels are more than likely getting a 50-50 rev share out of the fucking ads, and then we're getting a fraction of what's left over, right? So I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, let me go back to my original position. Use streaming not as a monetary source, but as a marketing avenue. Right.
You can also you could stream, you know where you can actually make profit if you are going to go into like streaming, if you will. There are two things. Number one is if you pay your monthly subscription through a company, like a stock company, something like a stash.com.
Right.
If you pay through there, if you pay for your subscription through there, you could become a shareholder. Okay. So that's one way. And two is there's a video. I'm going to show you guys a video in the future. I'm going to write it down, make sure I write it down, but there's a band called Apes of the State. Okay. And shout out to them, but they ended up building off DistroKid alone. They ended up banking, and it took them about 7 years. So they banked about 57 grand, over 57 grand.
Yeah, in 7 years.
See,
that kind of goes back to what I'm saying is the streaming royalties are dog shit. So don't worry about trying to get them. I see some people trying to run their streams up and stuff like that. And it's like, yes, okay, run your streams up, try to get it out there, but do it from a marketing perspective to gain more exposure to yourself, to gain more of a fan base. Stop worrying about, oh, let me make my investment back because I just spent $600 on a video. I spent $100 on fucking studio time, or $400 on studio time, or this or that or whatever. Yeah, you're putting all that investment in. I understand you want to try to get a return off of that as fast as possible, but you're not going to get the return off of that with 0.003 cents on every fucking click and every play and stuff like that.
It takes time to build.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying.
Exactly.
It took 7 years for them to build, but here's the thing. It can happen, but also it's not just Spotify, right? You guys have to look at it from a perspective of when it comes to streaming, don't just look at Spotify. You have to look at Deezer, you have to look at Tidal, you look at SoundCloud, Apple iTunes, Music, iTunes, all those, right?
And all those places,
Radio.
And all those places are marketing platforms.
Yeah, even Instagram, Facebook,
TikTok, Facebook, all that shit. They're all marketing platforms.
Yeah.
The focus putting out your music through a DSP should change from being one of let me try to monetize my music by putting it on the DSPs to let me try to get more reach by putting it on the DSPs. And what you can do, an idea that I have had that I haven't quite put into implementation yet, but I'm almost ready to, one that I've suggested to other artists, and they said, that sounds like a good idea. And then they did the completely wrong thing and they're like, oh, it didn't work. One thing I thought about doing is what you can do when you do the initial release for your album or your art, or your whatever song or something like that, is for the first couple months, when you put it out, for the first couple months, 6 months, whatever it is, however long time you want to do, when you put it out, release it out. But the song, when you're listening to it, you play the first half, let it play through, right? And then at the halfway mark, it switches to just beat only, no lyrics. And then you come in with your regular voice and you say, hey, appreciate you for listening all the way through the halfway point. If you want to hear the rest of the song, go to my website, hardcoastmusic.net right now, and you can download the whole track absolutely free. Absolutely free.
Fucking genius.
You got to download that track absolutely free on my website, and you can listen to it as much as you want to. And these streaming platforms can't even track you, trace you, nothing like that. They don't pay us, the artists, for anything for listening to this. So go to our website right now, go support it right now, and get it absolutely for free to yourself. Right? Do that. I said to do that. And you know what this other artist that I told to do that did? He released a 30-second, it was a 30-second track, and it got denied by DistroKid because they said you can't have tracks that are less than like a minute long. And I was like, You dumbass. I didn't say to release half of a minute long track. I said to release half of a track. And then on the other track, do exactly what I just said. Right? Like, dude, that's dope because that is something I've heard on mixtapes and stuff before. Right? On physical mixtapes back in the day when things were physical, not digital, you would fucking get that stuff and it would show you half of a fucking new song or something like that that just got released. Oh, if you want to watch the rest of this video or listen to the rest of this or whatever, go to this one place. And see, what you're doing is if you set it up properly, especially through Wix, right? Wix is my preferred website creating software, just because what you can do is when you upload your tracks on Wix, you can set it to free with email. And so all the person
Bandzoogle does that too.
Yes, but Squarespace is trash for doing it. Yeah. WordPress is garbage. You know, a couple other places are not that good for doing it, right?
Yeah, Wix and Bandzoogle for sure.
But Wix is good because what you can do is you can just go into the settings on those songs. You can have some set for 99 cents, some set for $1.99, some set for absolutely free, and some set for free with an email. And all the person does is they click add to cart, and then they go to checkout, and then it's absolutely free. They type in their email address, and it sends them that. Right now, you have their email address, and if you do it right, you can do proper email marketing with them, where you only send them one email when you have something new coming out. People always, whenever I talk about email marketing to people here in 2023, they always tell me, "Hey, man, email marketing doesn't work. People don't read their emails anymore." No, but
yes, people do.
They do to an extent. And if you're sitting there hitting them up once a day, once every other day, like I've been getting lately here with some places, Brandman Network, where you're getting all kinds of marketing stuff every other day or twice a day or 3 times a fucking day. It gets annoying and you swipe it away. You don't pay attention. However, if you came to hardcoastmusic.net and you downloaded for absolutely free my brand new debut EP, Hip Hop Revolution, and you typed in your email address, right? What I would do is whenever I have a new music video that just hit, I would send an email with a link into it. That was it. Boom. Very simple email that says, "Hey, here's my new stuff. Appreciate you for rocking with me. Here, go check it out. Hey, I got a new EP coming out. Hey, a new song just dropped." That's it, right? And then here and there, if you got some merch or you got a show coming up or something like that, or you got something you want to monetize off of, you can send them that. But that should be rare. That should be secondarily, right? And like I said, at maximum, once per week, send them an email about something new that you're doing, not something that you always do every week, but something out of the ordinary, right? So between once a week and once a month, so you're only sending between 1 and 4 emails a month to these people, right? You got to be very delicate because you gave them something for free and they took the leap of faith to ask you or to give you their email address, and they gave you a legit one so they could actually download that song from you or that album or whatever it is. Now, you need to be delicate whenever you're sending stuff out to them. Don't blast them to where they put you into the spam folder and never get anything else that you got. And they don't just turn off to you completely and delete your fucking songs. They don't want to listen to your shit no more, right?
Right.
When you're harnessing these people as fans, you're getting a lot of free game right here, right now, that I usually charge people to tell them.
Yeah.
When you are doing that, you're harnessing a real, solid, good relationship with these people because you're giving them all the free stuff and you're just asking for a means of communication direct to them. That's it. Right. And then on your website, you have the other things available for monetization. You have,
as you guys see right here on my website. I was just
right here. Yeah, we're looking at his website. If you're watching any of the video stuff, he's scrolling through his website, kpboldenmusic.com. Right. But you can see exactly how his is set up and stuff like that, right? You can do these kinds of things, right? And you can start building that, because if you have all your stuff available for free and for sale on your website, if people want to give you money, they will give you money. If you have an option for a donate option, like what we do on our Spotify now, where you can actually give us a monthly donation to, if you're listening here on Spotify, or if you want to listen to us on Spotify, you can go and set up a monthly donation to Music Making Sense podcast of 99 cents or however much money you want to spend a month to donate to us or whatever. But people can do that to you as well too. On your website, you can set up a PayPal donate option where they can just click it and they can donate through PayPal. It's 100% secure and everything. There are ways to get money from your fans, from your real fans, off of music, instead of trying to pay $70 to some fucking bot farm to run up your streams, so then you get $20 back in royalties and sit here and bitch about, oh, nobody support me and stuff. It's like, because you're not fucking doing shit
and
properly.
The crazy part is that you can make, honestly, if you just promote and you like share your music on Facebook or on the social media and stuff, dude, you can make $20 of your music. You can make $20 streaming your music straight up. You can.
And with Facebook starting to be able to monetize for creators and Twitter starting to monetize for creators, and what you can do is, if you put out real, genuine, engaging, good content on your social media page, and you have it set and you have it set up for monetization, once you reach the criteria, you can start making money off of Facebook. I know a producer, his name is Damien. He runs Trapside Productions. He makes at least $300 a month off of Facebook just from him basically being a hip hop music blog, right? He posts engaging, genuine shit. And then he also posts his new beats and stuff here and there as well too. But he makes $300 a month. He's worked up to it. It didn't happen immediately, but he's worked up to where he makes $300 a month. And he knows people personally who make over $1,000 a month just posting engaging content about things that they're involved in that other people resonate on their social media. So this is why I tell people, I'm like, stop just only posting, listen to my music, but check out my new song, blah, blah, blah. Post shit you're actually giving a fuck about. I tell people, I'm like, look, post at least double, if not triple, the amount of non-music related content that you do music content. So if you make one promo post for your music in a week, you need to have at least two or three non-music things. Something about, oh, look at this asteroid that just came into view. Look at this heat wave. Look at whatever it is that you get interest off of. Show your interest. People are going to rock with it, and you can start monetizing off of that, and you can grow your exposure. You can grow your brand like that. And that's what I'm going to stop right there, because we can keep going. This is going to be a long episode.
We can drop so much. We're going to drop so many gems right now.
We're going to cut this off right here, because I just saw what the time is, and I got some shit to take care of before 5, and we got to get some stuff taken out of here. But take everything that we've got given to you today. All right, I'm just going to cut it. Take everything that we given to you today. Go to all the places we already said to go. Rewind if you need a link to anything again where we're giving you a URL or whatever. Check the descriptions, all that shit. Keep rocking with us. Keep listening. Like I said, even if you don't support us financially, support us by listening, sharing, all that shit. Help us grow, because we're trying to help people grow as well too. And as always, we say, if you want to work with us personally, doing marketing and stuff, hit us up on wherever you're listening to this at, on any of the social media, and whoever you want to contact, either myself, Harkos, or KP, whoever you want to talk to. If you want to talk to both, individual, whatever it is, hit us up, let us know. We'll contact you directly. We'll work it out. We have free consultation initially, all that kind of shit. We'll help you out. That's what we're doing. We're trying to help people. Yeah, we're trying to help ourselves too, but we get more fulfillment helping other people, because that in turn helps us as well. Like, we get fulfillment internally, as well as, growing our exposure and all that shit by doing what we do, right? We genuinely want to help people. Okay. Now, we don't always do it for free. Sometimes we charge for it. It is what it is, right? It depends on how much effort we put into it and how much of our time and all that shit. So rock with us however you see fit and however you want to. All the ways that you want to rock with us are completely and utterly appreciated. We love it, right? Our numbers keep growing a little bit every fucking day, every week, every episode, every post on social media. We keep getting a little bit more. We appreciate every single one of y'all who are helping with that. So just keep doing what you're doing. If you want to increase, step up your support, feel free to step it up. If you want to keep doing what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing. But bare minimum, keep listening to us. Every single week we'll drop another episode. keep checking in, like, share, follow, subscribe, hit your alerts, all that shit, so that way you never miss anything. And we will see you again here on the next episode. As always, it's your boy Harkos here with KP, Music Making Sense Podcast. Y'all have a good one. We will see you later. KP.
Holla.
Yeah.